What precisely is the purpose of our existence? This question, as old as humanity itself, has driven philosophers, scientists, and theologians to the far reaches of thought and belief. And while the answer may vary from person to person, there are two sources of wisdom that have provided guidance for billions of people across millennia: the Quran and the Bible. These holy texts, each revered in their own right, offer profound insights into the purpose of life. Despite their differences, they both speak to the human experience, to our hopes, our fears, our struggles, and our triumphs. They offer pathways to understanding, to compassion, to love, and ultimately, to a purposeful life. They encourage us to look beyond our immediate circumstances, urging us to seek a higher, more meaningful existence. So let's delve into these two ancient texts to uncover their teachings on life's purpose. First, we turn to the Quran, the holy book of Islam. It is believed by many to hold the divine guidance for all aspects of life. In this holy text, the purpose of life is expressed in a beautifully simple yet profound way. The Quran emphasizes three key components in understanding our life's purpose: worship, morality, and service to others. The aspect of worship is central to the teachings of the Quran. The book frequently reminds us that we are created to worship God. As stated in Surah Dariyat, "And I did not create the jinn and mankind except to worship me." Here, worship is not just about ritualistic prayers. It is a comprehensive concept that includes all deeds pleasing to God, from the way we treat others to the way we care for the environment around us. Next, we come to morality. The Quran places a great emphasis on the cultivation of moral and ethical values. It guides us to be just, to show kindness, to honor our promises, and to maintain our integrity. As beautifully articulated in Surah Al-An'am, indeed, righteousness is not that you turn your faces toward the east or the west, but righteousness is one who believes in God, the last day, the angels, the book, and the prophets, and gives wealth in spite of love for it to relatives, orphans, the needy, the traveler, those who ask for help, and for freeing slaves. Lastly, the Quran encourages us to serve others. It teaches that serving others and helping those in need are not just noble acts, but an integral part of fulfilling our life's purpose. As reflected in Surah Al-Baqarah, "And spend in the way of God, and do not throw yourselves with your own hands into destruction. And do good. Indeed, God loves the doers of good." For the Quran, then, life's purpose is found in worshiping and serving God, acting morally and helping others. It is a guide that encourages us to lead a balanced life, one that harmoniously blends the spiritual, ethical, and social aspects of our existence. Next, we explore the Bible, the sacred text of Christianity. In the Bible's rich tapestry of teachings, we find a clear emphasis on three pivotal aspects: love, faith, and obedience. These, according to its teachings, are the cornerstones of a life lived purposefully. The Bible places an overwhelming emphasis on love. This is not just any kind of love, but a deep sacrificial love that seeks the good of others before oneself. In the book of John, chapter 15, verse 13, it is beautifully expressed as, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." This form of love is seen as the ultimate expression of purpose in life. But love, according to the Bible, does not stop with our fellow humans. It extends to God Himself. In the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verses 37 and 38, it is said, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind." This is the first and greatest commandment. Here we see love as the central theme of our existence and purpose. Then there is faith. The Bible teaches that faith in God and His promises provides purpose and direction. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 defines faith as the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Thus, faith is the confident expectation of what God has promised, and its certainty is grounded in His reliability. Lastly, the Bible speaks of obedience. It teaches that obeying God's commands and living by His laws give life a sense of purpose. As stated in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 13, "Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." In the Bible's view, life's purpose is tied to loving and obeying God, having faith and loving others. It's about seeking the good of others, trusting in the unseen, and living with conviction. This ultimately is the pathway to purpose according to the Bible. Now that we've explored both texts, let's compare and contrast their teachings. Both the Quran and the Bible offer us profound insights into the purpose of life. At their core, they share a common emphasis on morality, worship, and service. In the Quran, we find a clear directive towards worship and submission to God or Allah. Life is seen as a test, an opportunity provided by God to prove one's worthiness for paradise. The Quran urges believers to lead a life of righteousness, to be honest, kind, and charitable, and to seek knowledge in order to better understand and appreciate the world around us. On the other hand, the Bible, specifically in the New Testament, presents life as a gift from God, one that should be cherished and used to glorify Him. It calls for believers to love God with all their heart, soul, and mind, and to love their neighbors as themselves. It emphasizes the importance of faith, hope, and love, with the greatest of these being love. While both texts emphasize morality, worship, and service, they offer unique perspectives. The Quran places a greater emphasis on submission to God and the pursuit of knowledge. The Bible, on the other hand, places a greater emphasis on love, both for God and for one's neighbor. It's also interesting to note that while the Bible speaks of life as a gift, the Quran speaks of it as a test. This difference in perspective offers a fascinating insight into the different ways these texts approach the question of life's purpose. In conclusion, both the Quran and the Bible offer a wealth of wisdom on the purpose of life. They both encourage believers to lead a life of morality, to worship, and to serve others. However, they each offer a unique view on how to approach life, with the Quran emphasizing submission and the pursuit of knowledge, and the Bible emphasizing love and faith. In both the Quran and the Bible, we find a profound and nuanced understanding of life's purpose.